Imagine walking into your office tomorrow and finding out that like 40% of the tasks you do every single day have just been reassigned to a piece of software.
Yeah, just completely handed over.
Right. It sounds like this crazy sci-fi dystopia, but according to OpenAI's Sam Altman, that is actually our baseline reality by 2030.
It's wild to think about.
It is. But here's the catch that, completely scrambles the picture. The World Economic Forum projects that this exact same technological shift is going to create 78 million brand new jobs in that exact same time frame.
Right, the exact same window.
So, which is it? Are you losing your livelihood or are you like about to get the promotion of a lifetime? Welcome to this deep dive.
Glad to be here.
For you listening right now, we know the sheer volume of contradictory data about the AI employment frontier is, frankly, it's paralyzing.
Absolutely, it's overwhelming.
You are trying to plot your career trajectory over the next, 4 years, and the signals are completely crossed.
Well, it is a profound macroeconomic paradox. You have Silicon Valley projecting massive labor displacement and then massive global institutions projecting this huge hiring boom.
Right.
And then you have corporate executives currently executing strategies that seem to validate both extremes simultaneously?
Well, we are going to cut straight through that noise today. We've pulled together a really specific stack of intelligence for this deep dive to figure out what this workforce evolution actually means for your career.
The hard data.
Exactly. We are bypassing the generic think pieces. We're looking at the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report, PwC's AI Jobs Barometer, and breaking financial news today, literally today, from Reuters and Business Insider.
And we're also looking at what people are actually saying on the ground, right?
Yeah. To keep us grounded in what workers are actually experiencing, we are pulling from raw, unfiltered technical debates on the artificial intelligence and RAI agents subreddits, plus a couple of incredible video breakdowns showing these systems in action.
Because the goal here is synthesis. When you look at institutional research alongside, grassroots panic and executive memos, very clear, undeniable patterns emerge. We just have to decode the mechanics of what is actually happening underneath all those flashy headlines.
So let's start with the panic, because it is loud. If you go on artificial intelligence right now, the community is obsessively dissecting that projection from Sam Altman. The whole idea that AI is set to replace 40% of jobs by 2030.
Yeah, that number is everywhere.
It really is. You have users literally looking at their daily Jira tickets or their project dashboards and realizing a script could handle half their workload. But then we look at the World Economic Forum's 2025 Future of Jobs report.
Which tells a very different story.
Right. Their headline projection is that by 2030, the integration of AI, along with the green transition, will create 78 million new job opportunities.
It's the destruction of the old and the creation of the new happening concurrently in the exact same economic space.
But wait, I need to challenge this, because 40% of jobs replaced and 78 million jobs created do not sound like they can comfortably coexist in the same office building.
On a human level, it feels impossible.
Yeah, because if you automate 40% of my daily tasks, my boss isn't going to pay me 100% of my salary to do less work. They are going to combine my remaining tasks with my coworkers' remaining tasks and will fire one of us.
Right.
That isn't job creation. That is just workforce consolidation.
You are describing a zero-sum economy, which, it's a very natural way to view our own livelihoods. But the macroeconomic reality is that the economy isn't static. It mutates.
Okay, mutate. Unpack that for us.
Let's break down the mechanism of that mutation. When economists say a job is being replaced, we have to remember the job is actually just a bundle of tasks.
A bundle of tasks, okay.
Yeah. What the 40% projection points to is the rapid automation of routine cognitive tasks. Data entry, basic compliance checking, routine coding, customer service routing. Those specific tasks are burning away.
So, to use an analogy is this, like a massive forest fire. The Altman projection is saying that 40% of the old established forest canopy is going to just burn down.
Yes, exactly.
But the WEF report is saying that the fire is clearing the brush, letting the sunlight hit the soil, and making room for those 78 million new saplings to grow.
That is a highly accurate mechanical analogy. The burning down of the canopy is the destruction of roles that rely entirely on those easily automated task bundles.
Right.
But those 78 million new saplings, they're not just the same old jobs with the letters AI slapped on the job description. They are entirely new categories of labor required to manage, deploy, and govern these massive new systems.
I want to get really concrete about those saplings because, AI governance sounds great in a World Economic Forum report, but what does that actually look like on a Tuesday morning for the listener?
Let's define the jargon. Take a new category like agent-to-agent negotiation protocols.
Okay, what is that?
Well, in 2030, a company's supply chain AI is going to need to haggle over material prices with a vendor's AI. And this happens in milliseconds. A human isn't sitting there making the
Oh,
bids.
it's way too fast.
Exactly. But a human has to program the parameters, define the risk tolerance, and audit the outcomes of those machine negotiations. That it's a completely new bundle of tasks. It's a new job.
Oh, wow. So the key for the listener is realizing you might currently be sitting in a job that falls heavily into that 40% replacement category.
Statistically, a lot of people are.
Right. So your goal over the next 4 years isn't to build a fire break and just hope the flames miss you. The goal is to aggressively position yourself to be one of those 78 million new saplings.
Precisely. And this is where the timeline becomes critical. I mean, every major technological revolution, the agricultural revolution, the industrial revolution, the internet, they all destroyed old ways of working and created new industries.
Yeah.
But the velocity of this transition is completely unprecedented. We are not talking about a generational shift where, your children do a different job than you did.
It's much faster.
We are talking about an intra-career shift.
Yeah.
It is happening to you in real time over the next 48 months.
Which brings us crashing into the present moment. Because this 2030 macroeconomic theory hits a brutal reality when we look at what CEOs are actually doing, like this morning.
Let's talk about the news.
Yeah, let's pivot to our breaking news sources. Today is May 20, 2026. Reuters just published a piece on the CEO of HSBC.
A massive legacy institution.
Huge, and he sent a directive out to his global workforce explicitly stating that AI will both destroy and create new jobs within the bank. And his core message to his staff was simply, embrace change.
It is the defining executive mandate of our current moment.
But I have to stop you there because the friction here is intense. You contrast that executive optimism from HSBC with the harsh reality reported today by Business Insider.
Right, the layoff list.
Yes. They are maintaining a running list of companies that are actively replacing human employees with AI right now. We are talking about direct, documented layoffs. Workforce reduction specifically cited in earnings calls as, quote, AI-driven restructuring.
It's happening as we speak.
This isn't theoretical 2030 displacement. People are
Right.
packing up their desks today.
And that friction, that exact pain point, is exactly what PwC is mapping with their AI jobs barometer. They are tracking the real-time impact of AI on wages, job postings, and productivity across different sectors.
Okay, unpack the barometer for us. What is it actually measuring?
The barometer tracks the penetration of AI skills in job postings and the wage premiums attached to them. What it reveals is a massive structural lag time.
A lag time between what?
There's a brutal gap between the moment an old job is destroyed by efficiency and the moment a new job is created by innovation. The sector is adopting AI. The fastest financial services, tech, media are seeing wild shifts. Well, the volume of traditional job postings in those sectors drops, which triggers the Business Insider layoff lists you mentioned. But simultaneously, the PwC data shows a massive wage premium, sometimes up to a 25% salary bump, for roles that require advanced AI integration skills within those exact same sectors.
25%?
Yeah, up to a 25% premium.
So the money isn't leaving the ecosystem. It is just violently consolidating around a new set of skills.
Exactly.
But let's go back to the HSBC CEO. It is incredibly easy for an executive sitting in a corner office to send out an email telling their staff to embrace change. But if I am an employee and I am watching the Business Insider layoff list grow every single week, telling me to embrace change feels like telling me to embrace a hurricane.
That's a fair point.
You don't embrace a hurricane. You board up your windows and hide in the basement.
The employee's instinct to board up the windows is, frankly, completely rational. But let's look at the mechanics of why the C-suite is pushing this, because it isn't just empty corporate cheerleading.
What is it then?
It is a harsh survival tactic for the institution. What happens if a legacy bank like HSBC decides to, board up the windows and not integrate AI aggressively?
I guess their operational costs remain stagnant while their competitors figure out how to process loans and assess risk for, pennies on the dollar.
Exactly. The competitors' costs plummet, they capture the market, and HSBC becomes obsolete. And in that scenario, 100% of the jobs are lost.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The C-suite is looking at the WEF projection. They see the 78 million new jobs. They see the mutated economy, and they're desperately trying to steer their massive corporate ship toward that future before a tech-native startup just sinks them entirely.
So they have no choice.
The CEO is telling the staff to embrace change because the only way an individual employee survives a hurricane is by learning to harness the wind.
Harness the wind. That is a heavy reality to sit with if you are listening to this on your commute right now.
It's a lot.
We are stuck in this highly volatile transition period. We have immediate layoffs happening on one side of the street and the promise of a wage premium on the other. So let's talk about the actual pathways forward. If we know the bundle of tasks is mutating, how do we adapt?
We have to understand the specific technological catalyst that is driving this acceleration.
Right. And this leads us to what I think is the most fascinating intersection in our source stack. The World Economic Forum released coverage detailing 4 ways AI impacts job markets.
Yes.
At the exact same time, there was this massive grassroots debate exploding on the AI agents subreddit regarding 4 possible job futures by 2030.
I love that parallel.
Right. Both the institutional economists and the frontline developers are hyper-focused on the exact same catalyst, the shift from AI tools to AI agents.
We need to define this distinction clearly because it changes the entire economic equation. When we talk about AI agents, we're moving far past the AI tools of, 2023 and 2024.
Like ChatGPT when it first came out.
Right. A tool, like a basic large language model, is entirely reactive. It waits for your prompt.
So, to use a mechanical analogy, a tool is like a really eager intern who needs step-by-step instructions for every single cell in a spreadsheet.
Exactly.
It is helpful, but you still have to manage every single micro action.
Yes. An AI agent, however, is autonomous. It functions much more like a seasoned project manager.
How so?
You give an agent a high-level goal, for example, research our top 3 competitors, synthesize their Q3 pricing strategies, cross-reference that with our supply chain costs, and draft a recommended counter strategy.
That's a massive task.
But the agent decomposes that goal into subtasks. It queries the necessary databases, analyzes the data, self-corrects if it hits a dead end, and then just delivers the final product to you.
And this was visualized beautifully in one of the video essays we reviewed.
Oh, the split-screen video.
Yes. They showed a split screen. On the left side, a human was trying to execute a complex market analysis manually using traditional software. On the right side, a single human was simply managing a dashboard of 3 AI agents executing the entire workflow simultaneously.
The difference was staggering.
The speed and output difference wasn't incremental, it was exponential.
Which brings us directly to the 4 futures dictated by this technology. The WEF and the developers on Reddit are essentially mapping a spectrum of impact based on how these autonomous agents are deployed.
I look at these 4 futures like a massive 4-way intersection, and the WEF report explicitly states there is an absolute need for urgent upskilling right now.
Urgent, that's the key word.
If we don't upskill, does the AI basically decide which way our career turns at this intersection?
Without a doubt. Let's break down the 4 roads at this intersection.
Okay, road 1.
The first future is total replacement. If your job consists entirely of tasks that can be fully codified and handed over to an autonomous agent routine, QA testing, basic financial reporting, standardized customer onboarding, and you do not upskill, this is where the road takes you.
So your bundle of tasks is just absorbed by the software.
Exactly.
That is the Altman 40%, the burning canopy.
The fire.
Yeah.
What is the second road?
The second future is partial automation. And this is a very insidious trap. Your job still exists, but AI agents take over 30 or 40% of your tasks.
Wait, why is that a trap? Doesn't that just make me a faster, better employee?
Think about the economic mechanism of supply and demand. If a suite of AI tools suddenly makes every mid-level copywriter or junior analyst 40% more efficient, the effective supply of that labor just skyrocketed.
Oh, I see.
One person can now do the work of 1.5 people. If the overall market demand for copy or analysis doesn't increase at the exact same rate, the market value of your labor plummets. Wow. So this road leads to severe wage stagnation. You keep your job, but your earning power is just gutted.
Yes. You become cheaper labor.
Okay, so total replacement gets you fired, and partial automation gets your wages frozen. We need to steer away from those 2 roads immediately. How do we get to the third future?
The third road is human augmentation, and this is where that urgent upskilling becomes your absolute superpower. You aren't just using agents to do your old job faster. You are using agents to accomplish things you previously lacked the bandwidth, the technical skill, or the resources to do it all.
Give us a concrete model for how that actually works. Like, what does that day-to-day look like for someone?
It requires a concept called workflow decomposition.
Workflow decomposition.
Yes, you have to look at your own job, ruthlessly identify the 40% of your tasks that are routine, and actively automate yourself out of those tasks before your boss does.
So you take the initiative.
Right. By managing agents to handle the routine, you elevate yourself to a manager of digital workflows. You become the strategist, you review the outputs, you manage the exceptions, and you direct the creative vision, while a team of AI agents serves as your execution layer.
You essentially promote yourself to the C-suite of your own workload.
Precisely. That is a great way to put it. And that leads directly to the fourth future, which is the creation of entirely new categories of work. These are the 78 million new saplings.
We mentioned AI governance and agent-to-agent negotiation earlier. What else falls into this new frontier?
Well, we are looking at roles like complex system design, where, you are architecting how different specialized AI models communicate with each other within a corporate network.
Right.
And we are seeing a massive need for AI audit specialists.
What does an AI auditor do?
They are professionals who can reverse engineer an AI's decision-making process to ensure it complies with financial regulations or industry standards. Because the AI is a black box, someone has to make sure it's legally compliant.
It is really about building the infrastructure of the new economy.
Exactly.
This is why the World Economic Forum uses the word urgent. I really want to emphasize this for you listening right now. When heavy conservative institutional economists use the phrase urgent upskilling, they do not use it lightly.
No, they don't.
Urgent means this isn't about casual weekend learning or reading a tech blog once a month.
It is a critical call to action for your immediate professional development. The timeline is compressing. The difference between the professionals who thrive in the 2030 job market and those who are displaced is being decided by the actions they take right now in 2026.
And upskilling today isn't about, learning to code Python, right?
No, not at all. It is about learning to collaborate with non-human intelligence. You have to learn how to delegate to a machine, how to verify its autonomous outputs, and how to combine its raw processing power with your own strategic intuition.
So let's pull all of this together and synthesize what we've unpacked in this deep dive. The AI employment frontier is not a simple binary narrative of human versus machine. It is a highly complex, rapidly mutating ecosystem.
Yes, it is a landscape defined entirely by paradox.
Exactly. On one hand, you have the very real threat of 40% task displacement and the harsh reality of Business Insider's layoff tracker. But on the flip side, you have the World Economic Forum's projection of 78 million new opportunities and that PwC barometer mapping massive wage premiums for those who adapt.
Premiums are real.
And the executives demanding you embrace change. They aren't just using corporate jargon. They're desperately trying to navigate the lag time between job destruction and job creation. And the primary vehicle driving all of this is the evolution from reactive AI tools to autonomous AI agents.
The forest fire currently clearing the way for the new growth.
Yeah.
But, you have to actively plant yourself in the right soil. You have to map your workflows, identify the routine, and steer aggressively toward human augmentation.
But before we let you go, we want to leave you with one final provocative thought. We've spent this entire deep dive analyzing the data, the institutional reports, and the urgent mechanical need to learn how to manage autonomous AI agents.
Right.
But there is a totally different dimension to this evolution that we haven't touched on yet.
Yes, and this is something I really want you to mull over as you plot your career trajectory over the next few years.
Let's hear it.
We've talked extensively about the WEAF's mandate for urgent, tech-driven upskilling to capture one of those 78 million new roles. But here's something to think about on your own. If AI agents are inevitably going to handle the vast majority of complex technical tasks, routine coding, and data synthesis in the 2030 workplace.
Which they will.
Exactly. What if the most vital upskilling you can do right now has nothing to do with technology at all?
What do you mean?
What if the ultimate job security in 2030 is actually doubling down on your raw, messy, irreplaceable human soft skills?
The things a machine cannot authentically replicate.
Exactly. Deep empathy in client relations, nuanced interpersonal negotiation, complex conflict resolution, and just the raw human intuition required to read a room. I mean, if technology becomes universally accessible and autonomous, human connection becomes the premium product.
The premium product. Wow. The ultimate steering wheel through this four-way intersection might just be leaning into what makes us fundamentally human in the first place. For you listening, you are now armed with the insights, the data, and the specific mechanics you need to navigate your own career frontier. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. We'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends and family. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest videos. Thank you for watching and supporting our channel.